Hey guys, welcome back to today's college basketball pick video. Today we're going to be covering matchups for March 7th, 2017. Got 3 games I'm going to touch on in today's video. I'll throw those down in the video description, and if you're interested in getting our daily free pick over at our main website, you can check out stumpthespread.com. I'll throw that down in the video description as well. And if you want more of this pick video content in the future, you can click that subscribe button. Any thumbs up on the video are greatly appreciated. So not a lot of action today in college basketball. In comparison to the amount of games we're going to get in the coming days as things really start to ramp up in a lot of conference tournaments. Pretty early on in the week yet, and a lot of these tournaments tend to finish more in that Saturday to Sunday range, so most leagues are going to get started up on that Wednesday to Thursday range, but, the ACC has so many teams, and they do a system where they give their higher seeded teams a couple of byes. So in that situation, we get more of these games earlier on in the week, which is all right by us. Starting here with a matchup over in the ACC, I want to talk about this game between Boston College and Wake Forest. Coming into the year, Boston College was expected to finish in the basement of the ACC yet again this season, and that's exactly what's happened. Boston College, it's just been a really tough turnaround project over there. They've been in the basement of the ACC for a number of years in a row now. Boston College they were able to grab 3 wins in league play this year, which is, better than some of the results we've seen from them in recent years. But, especially with the ACC being so competitive from top to bottom, it's just been really tough for Boston College to get anything in the way of wins in conference play. Going against Wake Forest today, Wake Forest was able to take care of Boston College in their matchups this year. Wake Forest really heading into the conference tournament, playing some of their best ball of the year, winning the last 3 games in a row, including really important wins on their home court resume building win against Louisville, and also their last outing on the road against Virginia Tech was a great resume building win for the Demon Deacons. Wake Forest looking like they're on the right side of the bubble right now, but a loss today against Boston College could definitely put them back on the outside looking in. So this is one of those games that kind of feels like a win and you're in scenario for Wake Forest. The pressure will certainly be on the Demon Deacons side, while Boston College will get the advantage of, not having the pressure of these other teams that are playing with the bubble in mind, but that can only help this group so much. Boston College not putting up the kind of results to really compete at a high level with pretty much everyone else in the ACC this year. Wake Forest been playing their best ball of the year as of late, and that's part of the reason why this spread has shifted up from 10.5 to 13 points. Even though this is quite a lot of points to give on the neutral site, we are going to go ahead and side with Wake Forest to pull away in this one. They have the higher ceiling on both sides of the ball, and definitely have the playmakers to go on to win and cover a spread of this margin. So we're going to go ahead and side with Wake Forest here, giving the 13 points as the better bet. Moving on down here over to the Big Sky, we have a match between Northern Arizona and Portland State. 2 teams that have been hanging around that mid to lower tier of the Big Sky this season. Portland State standing 7-11 in conference, and Northern Arizona 6-12. These teams split their regular season matchups, and really Northern Arizona in their last outing picked up a very impressive win. They went on to beat Eastern Washington by 15 points, and that's just a tremendous result there for Northern Arizona, taking down the number 2 seeded team in the Big Sky. That has to give this group some confidence and momentum coming into this matchup. Portland State certainly put together the better results in comparison to Northern Arizona back during the non-conference, but in the Big Sky itself, these groups have put up very similar results. We do expect this to be a competitive matchup. Portland State without Braxton Tucker, you have to keep that in mind as well. This spread has shifted down a point, but even with that, we are still going to go ahead and side with Northern Arizona, getting the 5.5 points as the better bet against the spread. And just one more game that I want to touch on in today's video. It's going to be another matchup over in the Big Sky. This one's between Southern Utah and Montana State. Southern Utah, they've kind of been the Boston College of the Big Sky, really having a tough time getting out of that basement of the conference. Southern Utah really having their issues again this year, and it's been more so on the defensive side of the ball. Southern Utah has just been a sieve on the defensive end. They do rank around 100th in the nation in scoring average, which is respectable, but this is a group that really likes to play fast, and they sacrifice their defense as a result. They played 1 game against Montana State this year. That was a little bit earlier in conference play, and they fell in that one at home to the Bobcats by 5 points. Montana State, they had a really poor stretch in about the mid-range of the regular season, and even back during the earlier parts of Big Sky play. But the Bobcats have definitely turned things up a notch over the past month and a half or so, maybe even about 2 months at this point. But this has been looking like one of the best teams in the conference during that particular stretch of time, and Montana State definitely a threat to win and advance quite deep in this tournament if they're able to continue to play with the kind of momentum we've seen from them down the stretch run of the regular season. Montana State is one of the best players in the conference, with Hall is averaging about 23 points per game, and having arguably the best player in the conference on your team can definitely help, especially in tournament play. Montana has their go-to guy that can really make a difference down the stretch run of these games. That could be very competitive down the stretch if they're able to advance from this one and get into some likely more competitive matchups. But coming to this one, Montana State definitely deserving of that 10-point cushion here, giving the points to Southern Utah. And just given how these teams have been playing down the stretch in conference play, we do feel like Montana State giving the 10 points is going to be the better value bet against the spread. So that's the last matchup I wanted to talk about in today's video. A lot of these other games are very small conferences that typically don't have spreads throughout the regular season, and as a result, these are a couple of the conferences that I do not follow, so I don't really have a whole lot of confidence in really siding with these particular games. But I was able to touch on some matchups over in the ACC and the Big Sky, which are two conferences that I've definitely been following quite a bit this year, so hopefully we get the covers in those respective games. Again, if you want to get our daily free pick, you can head over to our main website, stumpthespread.com. I'll link that down in the video description, and for more of this video content in the future, you can click that subscribe button. So thanks guys for stopping on in, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye.